The Langsford Holmes household had always been filled with laughter, gentle teasing, and the comforting rhythm of a family that leaned on one another no matter what. But recently, that laughter had softened, replaced by uneasy silence and the constant hum of fear beneath every breath. Eammon Holmes, the strong foundation of the family, had been struggling. His health had taken a sharp and frightening turn, leaving the family staring down a reality they were never prepared to face. Ruth Langsford, always polished, composed, and in control, found herself in unfamiliar territory, unable to hold back the tears that had been building inside her for weeks. She had always been the one to hold it together, whether on camera or at home. But now, as she sat quietly at the edge of the hospital bed, hands clasped around Eamonn's trembling fingers, the weight of uncertainty pressed too heavily on her chest. Eamonn tried to keep things light, even cracking a small smile. "Don't look so serious, woman," he whispered weakly. But Ruth couldn't. Not this time. The collapse of strength. Their son Barney had never seen his mother like this. He had arrived after a late-night call, hearing only the strain in Ruth's voice to know things were worse than anyone wanted to admit. He walked into the room and froze. His mother, his rock, was crying, shoulders shaking with the force of everything she had held back. Barney's own composure fractured. Eamonn blinked in surprise. "What's this? Both of you, Neville? I'm the sick one here. Why am I the only one not crying?" It was an attempt at humor, but it only broke the room further. Barney stepped forward and hugged his father tightly, silently pleading for strength, for time, for anything that might turn the tide. Behind the cameras, the private battle. When Ruth returned to work at ITV the next day, she did something she almost never did. She asked to go on air without makeup. She didn't want to hide the exhaustion in her eyes or the red marks still burning from hours of tears. Colleagues noticed the difference immediately. Quiet footsteps, whispered questions, a studio heavy with unspoken concern. No one pushed for details. Everyone knew Ruth well enough to understand that when she was ready, she would speak. Midway through the segment, Ruth paused, voice cracking just slightly as she tried to continue reading from the teleprompter. She took a long breath. "I'm sorry," she whispered. Her co-host gently reached over, switching cards, picking up seamlessly so Ruth could gather herself. Viewers felt that moment, felt the pain, the uncertainty, the storm happening off-screen. Social media lit up. "Ruth looks heartbroken. Is everything okay at home? She needs support, not pressure." And they were right. A family united. Back at home, Eamonn was doing something he'd never done, accepting help. Barney sat with him every evening, sometimes talking, sometimes saying nothing at all. But the silence wasn't empty. It was full of love, fear, hope, and the unspoken promise. We are here. We are together. Ruth often joined them quietly, cups of tea in hand, her eyes softening at the sight of her two boys leaning into each other for strength. At night, when the cameras were off and the world had stopped demanding smiles and perfect posture, Ruth allowed herself to grieve, not for loss, but for the uncertainty that hung over every day. Yet through the difficult hours, something beautiful emerged. The family grew closer. Barney became the steady voice. Eamonn shared more than he ever had. Ruth learned that even the strongest hearts sometimes need to be held. Hope in the hardest moments. Their crisis wasn't over. The future was still a tunnel with no clear view of the end. But they were walking through it together, hand in hand, tier by tier, step by step. And in the silence of their home, late at night, Ruth whispered the same prayer she did every evening. Let tomorrow be better. For now, that hope was enough.